Okay, this last video is kind of a neat little video. This is a little trick. Remember, we have talked about proofs before, and a lot of times that we do proofs, you don't always have to go a direct head-on, although that's kind of the most common way of proving something. So what you're going to learn today is something called an indirect proof. In college, we call them a proof by contradiction. And basically, the way that a proof by contradiction works, or an indirect proof works, we start off by assuming something that we know is false, which is kind of funny that you say that, but it's kind of playing this little hypothetical game. Okay, fine. I know you're wrong, but what I'm going to do is let's play your little game. Let's suppose you are right, and then let me go through the series and prove to you why you are wrong. And so that's kind of the approach here. And believe it or not, this is one of those life skills that's worth knowing, is knowing how to prove somebody wrong by assuming that they're right. Believe me, goes way beyond the math lesson. Trust me on this. It goes into politics. It goes into working with your friends. It goes into working with your spouses. It's one of those concepts that is a really great way to learn to debate correctly and to win correctly. So the proof by contradiction is really useful in this manner. So let's take this approach. Oh, there. Okay, that's where I went wrong. All right. I need to change something real quick. We're going to change the term exterior to interior. Okay, so I thought I did something wrong there. All right, so what are the maximum number of possible acute interior angles of a polygon? So can a polygon have 6 acute angles and still be considered to be a polygon? Well, it's kind of hard to prove this, and I will tell you the answer is 3. So the maximum is 3. To prove that the answer is 3 by direct proof is actually really difficult to do. It's almost impossible, actually. So let's approach this by contradiction. So we're going to start off by assuming it's not 3. Okay. So let's assume. So again, knowing that it's wrong. So let's assume there are 4 acute interior angles. Okay. So that is our false assumption. Okay, and all proofs by contradiction begin this way. You start off with a statement that you're going to hold to be true, but you know is false. But we're going to say it's true. So let's assume there are 4 acute interior angles. Now, this is actually kind of neat. If the interior angle is acute, what does that tell you about its exterior angle? Okay, this is kind of important here. Because if you think about it, and I probably used the wrong diagram, so let's kind of go here. If my interior angle is acute, so that's my blue angle here, hey, that's not blue. Okay. If my interior is acute, what does that make the exterior? Oh, my exterior must be obtuse. Okay, that's really kind of important. So we're going to go ahead and clear the way there. That means there are at least 4 obtuse exterior angles. Now, what does it mean to be obtuse? Think about that statement for a minute. What does it mean to be obtuse? Okay. So basically, it means that the angle must be greater than 90 degrees. So if we have 4 obtuse exterior angles, that means that the sum of those angles must be greater than 360. But remember, in the earlier video, we learned that the sum of the exterior angles is exactly 360 degrees. So, however, the sum of the exterior angles, of any polygon is exactly 360. Therefore, our assumption is false. That's it. That's how you do proof by contradiction. You start off, as we said before, we start off by assuming something that to be true that we know is false, and then we prove that that statement is false. And this is exactly what we've done here. So this is a very simple proof to learn how to do proof by contradiction. It's a really neat approach. And like I said, I think this is one of those logical thinking skills that goes way beyond the classroom. And I think you'll start using this a little bit more and realize that you're using it more often when you are in a debate with people. I use it quite often, and it's one of the best ways to actually prove your point is to prove that their point and their assumptions are false. And it's a lot easier to do that than to prove that you're right. Interesting approach. But just something to think about. Notice we didn't prove that you were right. We proved that they were wrong. Interesting concept. Total manipulation. Make the math work in your favor. Geometry is not a class about doing the math. It's about learning the logic and learning to manipulate the facts. It's a great critical thinking class. Okay? So anyways, I just thought I'd like to close with that, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you took notes over all 3 videos, and we will be right back. We will start